one of the biggest things I think I enjoyed more than anything was the attitude of the people when we were pushed, paraded through the towns.
Mm-hmm.
They all wanted to touch you, and they wanted the cards, the pictures of us with our history on the back of it. I had 1,000 of them. I think I gave over 500 away. When we landed, there was ships and soldiers and tanks and everything on it. When we landed with our tanks. Now you see nothing but just beautiful open land and people walking, kids running onto the water and the beaches and stuff like that. So that's the big difference. Somebody asked me about that. What's the difference? I said the difference is there's no boats out there, no guys rushing through wires or defenses or anything to get to the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
I said that's your difference. So, and I didn't get through that wires and stuff because we landed a month or so later because we couldn't land until we had a place to put our tanks. But we did go to St. Marie English, enjoyed that. This time we went through the town. I think we ate in the town. That's where, if you saw the movie, I forget, where red buttons hung on the arms of a clock. He parachuted down, and this is real life. A guy did, but in the movies it showed red buttons, got stuck, and then the bells rang, and his ears went deaf, and he was up there. So when we went back to St. Marie this year, they have a dummy up there, a mannequin or whatever you call him, and hanging from that clock. And it's shown, and it's I assume it's quite a thing for the people to see it every day. And the things I try to figure out, where did the 6th Armored actually get together? Well, there's open fields all over the cotton picker place, and nobody could. The only way I could have found that out is if there was somebody there in the town that was alive during that time. They could have told us, but we didn't have time for any of that. We were just being celebrated, and they were celebrating us and thanking us and doing the things they usually do in their welcome party. Mm-hmm. It was good. The 128th is made up of headquarters, B, three artillery battalions. Each of them have a certain amount of guns, and then that's the outfit. And then you had mechanics and the rest of the stuff. So there's a lot of people involved in 128. Mm-hmm. I was in the survey section, and our job was to, once the information was found where the Germans were, mm-hmm. they notified us, and then we had the maps of the whole area, of the whole country. And our responsibility was, once we're told where the Germans were, we would pull out the maps, identify the location, turn it over to the guns, and tell the guns where to aim at. And we did that through the whole war. 1,250 miles. No, did I say 1,500 miles from Utah Beach all the way to Rocklitz, Germany. It's a lot of riding in a half track. So good weather, bad weather. But it's a good thing I was 19. At my age now, no way. We went to Utah Beach. The mayor sat beside me. I sat beside her. We both chatted between each other. Her and her French, and somehow she understood me, and I understood her. And then she made a speech, and then there was another guy made a speech. I think it was Dave Chapman of Michelin, And then I went up and made a speech, a 10-minute speech.
What was your speech about?
Usually I turn around and say, first, what I can remember Utah Beach's speech. What I said to the veterans, I says, I am honored to be one of you that is here to be honored and celebrated by the French people. And then I mentioned the fact that it was, to be one of the vets was an honor. Then I looked way out there on the side of the hills. There was all kind of people there. And I looked at them and I says, you all are welcoming us by your enthusiasm and your attitudes and the way you talk to us and celebrate us. And I want to tell you all that we welcome you just as much, because what we did in World War II was destructive. And I says, we, with our artillery and things, there were people killed, there was buildings torn up, streets bombed, and all that. And you saw all of this, and yet you accept us. So we're being thankful, and we welcome you for accepting us back into your arms, even after what we did in World War II. So they went along with that and clapped. And I said a few other things, but that was the main subject, was bringing them into knowing that they celebrated us, we celebrated them for their attitude. This year they said, don't make a speech to the kids, answer questions. So several of them, I think about 10 or 11 of them, each had a little slip of papers in their hands with questions to ask me. And each of them looked a little, not frightened, but a little, tight. So as they came up, I said, relax. I said, don't have to, just read the paper, and if you don't want to read the paper, just ask me the question anyhow. So each one of them I addressed as they came up, and it was fun. They asked me nice questions about my life and my time in the service and what I thought of France. Just general questions, and it was nice. So,
what was the most interesting question you were asked by the kids?
Most interesting, my visit to France, I think, was a lot. And I explained to them, I says, to be welcomed as we are the second time, I says, it's unbelievable. And then I referred back, I says, when we landed in World War II, I says, once we captured a town and moved through it, they were out there welcoming us from the windows, from the doors, and stuff like that. And I said, they waved at us. However, it was just a few of them. But I said, it's no different than it was now, except that there's more people greeting us now compared to that. And they have been greeting us for the past 80 years in the same manner, welcome us, because they realize the freedom that they got because of our victory.